welcome back. So we're going to have a look at a practical illustration for quantitative analysis. Single loss expectancy and annualized loss expectancy. Now, single loss expectancy is once an asset is actually lost and how much is the monetary value that you actually lose. Sometimes the SLE is not calculated in terms of monetization. It's actually calculated in terms of losses. For example, if an asset or the service is not available for 3 hours or 6 hours or 9 hours, it's also calculated on the time. So money is not the only criteria to calculate this single loss expectancy. But having said that, for your CISSP examination and for this illustration, I'm going to use the money to calculate the single loss expectancy. Now, if assume there's an asset and cost of the laptop is okay, let's say this is scenario 1, yeah. Scenario 1, cost of laptop is 500 pounds, and the laptop has got personal identifier information, and cost of PII is 4,500 pounds. So cost of the asset, okay, or the asset value is 5,000 British pounds. Yeah, 5,000 British pounds. Now, there's no disk encryption. Scenario 1 is going to be without disk encryption. Yeah. Scenario 1 without disk encryption, and if this asset is actually lost, the laptop is lost, and the PII is also lost, and the laptop is also lost, so the entire asset is lost. So the exposure factor is 5,000 pounds divided by 5,000 pounds. So it's 100% is equal to 1. Okay. So single loss expectancy is equal to asset value multiplied by the exposure factor is equal to 5,000 pounds multiplied by 1 is equal to 5,000 pounds. So one time this incident has happened, so we are losing 5,000 British pounds. Annualized rate of occurrence is equal to number of incidents, number of years. Assume 3 incidents in 5 years, 3 by 5, and annualized loss expectancy, annualized loss expectancy is equal to ARO multiplied by the SLE. Okay, so it's going to be 3 by 5 multiplied by 5,000 pounds is equal to 3,000 pounds. 3,000 pounds is what the company is actually losing, okay, annualized. So 3 incidents in 5 years. So 1 incident is going to cost me 5,000 British pounds, and 3 incidents going to cost me 15,000 British pounds. And over the period of 5 years, if I'm going to calculate the annualized loss expectancy, it becomes 15,000 divided by 5 is equal to 3,000 British pounds. Yeah, this is scenario 1. This doesn't give us any benefit. In scenario 2, with disk encryption, so we're going to copy this, paste it. Asset value remains the same, 500 British pounds, but with the disk encryption, that means the PII is what is actually lost. Okay, so what I'm going to have is 500 divided by 5,000. Okay, so there's going to be 10%, 0.1. Single loss expectancy is 5,000 multiplied by 0.1. That becomes 500 GBP, and this is 500. Okay, this becomes 300 GBP. So because I'm introducing the disk encryption, it has drastically reduced to 300 British pounds. Now, ROSI return on security investment. ALE without the safeguard. Okay, safeguard in this case in the encryption. Safeguard is something which is going to act against a threat. Okay, so it's going to defend from the threat. Okay, here the threat is defend against an exposure. So the threat is actually the laptop getting lost, and then the exposure could be the PII. Okay, and then ALE without the safeguard minus ALE with the safeguard minus cost of the safeguard. Okay, now ALE without the safeguard is 5,000 British pounds minus ALE with the safeguard is 500 British pounds. And for example, if it takes 1,500 British pounds to encrypt the disk, okay, and annualize per year. Okay, so this becomes 3,000 British pounds. 3,000 British pounds is the return on the investment. Okay, otherwise it's actually called as a value. Okay, value of the safeguard. Okay, not the cost of the safeguard, value of the safeguard. So it's otherwise called as a return on security investment. Okay, now people say, if the scenario 2, how do you say that there's no loss because of the PII? Okay, we also assume there's a good backup so that I can actually restore the PII, and it is actually not lost. Okay, now I'm not speaking from the availability perspective here. I'm speaking from the confidentiality perspective here. Okay, so this is on the return on the security investment. Okay, and ideally what we do is we calculate this particular value, 5,000 British pounds, and our investment of the safeguard should not be more than 5,000. Okay, if it's more than 5,000, it would mean that I'm investing 6,000 pounds to secure an asset which is more than 5,000 pounds. It doesn't make a sense to me, right? So we calculate the scenario 1 and we arrive at the annualized loss expectancy. It's not sorry, we need to look at the annualized loss expectancy, 3,000 British pounds. Okay, not 5,000 British pounds. So we need to look at the annualized loss expectancy, and if the safeguard is more than the 3,000, it's going to cost me more than 3,000 British pounds per year, it's not worth investing. So it should always be less than this. Ideally far lesser than this, at what would actually give you a benefit. Okay, we can still say 29.99 British pounds is still less than 30.00 British pounds, but it's not that funny. So we need to ensure the safeguard is significantly lesser in value than the annualized loss expectancy for me to implement this. Okay, because if you look at our own scenario, and I have said 1,500 British pounds annualized. Okay, now it's 50% less. Okay, it definitely gives me an benefit. Okay, so in the examination they'll ask you what is the cost of the safeguard that you invest on. Okay, so you need to do an AV, EF, SLE, and then ARO, and then ALE, and the value of the ALE should be more than the safeguard that you are actually choosing. So they will give you 4 options, out of which one will be lesser than the ALE, and that's what is your best answer. Yeah. So thank you very much for watching this video. Stay tuned by subscribing to my channel, and we are soon going to have a separate video on the risk treatment plans. Okay. Cheers then. Thank you. Bye-bye.